Hey, boys and girls, welcome to another Ed Puzzle, more notes with Mrs. McGuire. I think you're going to like today's lesson. It's nice and it's a little bit fun, I think. So, last time we were together, we did talk about arc measure and how that relates to chords. So, we're still going to keep that, but we're going to just go a little bit deeper and look at some theorems. And this is only one page of notes. Hopefully, you've printed this out or you have this somewhere you can look at it. So let's go ahead and get to it. Our first definition, and if you're keeping your definitions, go ahead and you can put this on your definition page, is a central angle. So a central angle, I'm going to draw you a picture real quick. But taking our circle here, this beautiful circle that I put in the notes for us, this circle has a center. And so go ahead and just eyeball and give this circle a center. We'll call it P. But a central angle, like the name sounds, it comes from the center of your circle. So the vertex is going to be the center. And there we go. So we've got a central angle and we've got a vertex P, which is the center of our circle. So it all kind of gels together and makes sense. So let's fill in the blanks up here. An angle whose vertex is the center of the circle and whose sides contain the blank of the circle. You fill it in. Hopefully you said the radius or the radii, right? Because it's plural. I love a double I. That's fun. The radii of a circle. Now, last time we were together, we talked about the arcs. And just to reiterate, this is a minor arc because it's smaller than 180 degrees. And so when we look at our angle, let's go ahead and put some more points on this angle. I'm going to make this Q and R. So our central angle, I'm going to give it a name. We've got angle QPR. So this angle QPR is intercepting an arc on the circle. And that's basically where we're going to live today, is this relationship between the central angle and the arc. So we're going to look at arc QR. We're looking at arc QR. And again, when you're naming that arc, this is a minor arc because it's smaller than 180 degrees. Let's just say we'll make it up that this is an A, it almost looks like 90. Let's just call it 100 degrees to make our numbers easy for today. So if that's 100 degrees, sorry, it looks like 90, but 90 is too easy. I don't want to go with that. Then we're going to call this is arc QR, right? We label that with the 2 points on our circle for our minor arc, just 2 points. Now here is your big theorem today. It says the measure of a minor arc is equal to the measure of the central angle that the arc intercepts. All right, so what does that mean? Whatever the arc is, that's how big the central angle is also. And also vice versa. If the central angle is 100 degrees, then the arc is 100 degrees as well. Super simple, nice and easy. We also talked about major arcs, and major arcs are going to be bigger than 180 degrees. So if I put another point out here, and we did this the other day on our picture, let's just give it an S. I could look at this major arc, QSR, right? Or we could call it RSQ. So there's a couple of different ways. We could do QSR, that could be a major arc, or we could call it RSQ. And how big would that arc have to be? Yeah, hopefully you're looking at this picture and you're thinking, okay, I know there's 360 degrees in a circle. We've used up 100 of them. So the measure of this major arc is 260 degrees. And the only difference between the major and the minor, oops, look at Mrs. McGuire did already. Boop, boop. Sorry about that. Arc, 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 not segments. Too easy to make a segment. We've been doing it for so long. But the only difference between these arcs is one is smaller than 180 and one is larger than 180. But their central angles will always be the measure of those arcs. So pay attention to your central angles and your arc relationships that are going on here. Now, down here we have our last definition. It says an arc with endpoints that are the diameter of the circle. An arc with endpoints that are the diameter of the circle. So let's go ahead and draw in a diameter so we can have a nice visual. I'm going to go ahead and just pick new points for this, going through our center. And I'm just going to call this AB, diameter AB. What do you think we're going to call the name of it? If you said semicircle, you're correct. It's half the circle, right? Because it goes through the diameter. So semicircle is the name. And is this a major arc or a minor arc? It's neither. It's a semicircle. But when you name it, you can name it with 2 points because it doesn't really make a difference if I look at arc AB, if I go around the right side or if I go around the left side, they're both the same degree measure, right? What's the degree measure going to be always for half a circle? That's right, 180 degrees. Okay, hope you're doing okay so far. The last thing that we're going to talk about is one of our last postulates for the year, and it's arc addition postulate. So we have done angle addition postulate, we have done segment addition postulate, and this one follows suit. The only thing that's different is we are now adding arcs. So we can add a little arc plus a little arc to equal a bigger arc. So let's just use our picture up at the top. Does the big arc always have to be using a major arc? No. We could look at the picture. We could do arc AQ, right? We could do AQ, the measure of arc AQ, excuse me, because we're adding, right? Plus the measure of arc QR. And what should that equal, my friends? That's right. It should equal the measure of them put together, arc AR. Right? So you are allowed to add arcs together. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do is just work through a few problems at the bottom of this page. Let me blow it up so that you can see it a little better. I'm going to start you off on number 1, and then I'm going to let you work on this a little bit and stop you and get some answers from you like normal. But when you look at this, guys, think about what you know already about straight angles and vertical angles and adding angles. The only difference now is that we're inside a circle and we are, looking at the relationship with the central angle in the arc. So you've done a lot of this work before, having to do with angle work. So first thing they're asking us for is arc HJ. So here we are, arc HJ, super simple. You should be able to conquer that one pretty easily. That's right, it's 63 degrees because the central angle and the arc are the same degree measure. Now they'd like us to find arc FGH. I'm going to let you go ahead and find that one. Okay, so hopefully you're getting 117 degrees. And what you want to do here is realize that you've got 180 degrees. FJ, it's a diameter, so that's a semicircle. So you can add up the 63 plus the 65, and you're going to get 128 degrees. And then you're going to subtract that from 180. So we're going to do 180 minus 128. What did I tell you guys? Oh, I am so sorry. I did something wrong there, didn't I? And when we subtract it, let's see, we're going to get a 2. This is a 7 minus 2. We're going to get 52 degrees. So I was looking at the wrong one. It's not 117. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Sorry about that. It is 52 degrees. Oh, this is 52 degrees in here, isn't it? Okay, I'm all right. I probably need a cup of coffee. Now we're going to go ahead and find FGH, right? So I got the 52 in there, and then I'm going to add the 65 plus the 52, and that's 117. Pray for me, friends. Pray for me. All right, I'm going to let you work on 3 and 4. Go ahead and work on 3 and 4. Okay, so number 3, it wants us to find CDE. I put down 130 degrees. I hope I'm okay with that one. CDE, and we know that we have 40 degrees here. So we know this vertical angle is also 40, which means the arc is 40, right? The arcs are 40. And then we've got a 90-degree angle. So arc CD is 90 degrees as well. So when we're looking at CDE, we're just going to do the 90 plus the 40, which is 130 degrees. For number 4, you should have gotten 140 degrees, 140 degrees. So a couple of different ways that you could go about doing this. I think the easiest way is you know here that arc BC should be how big? 50 degrees is left over for that section of our semicircle, right? Because AD is a semicircle making 180. So BCD is this 50 plus 90, which is 140 degrees. All right, last two. I made a little adjustment to number 5. If you look at your paper, they're asking you to find LMN, which is a minor arc, and should be really labeled with only 2 points. So you can fix that on your worksheet. Go ahead and find LN. All right, did you get 75 degrees? I hope so. There's a couple of different ways to do this one. The way that I went about it is I said to myself, okay, I've got some vertical angles happening here. PRQ is vertical to NRM, which means this is 30 degrees, which means arc PQ is 30 degrees. Arc QL is 105, and this gives me 135. And when I subtract that from 180, I'm getting 45 degrees left for that semicircle. And that's the central angle is 45 degrees, right? So now when I add up the 45 plus the 30, that's where my 75 degrees is coming from for arc LN. All right, last one for us together today, arc LNP. LNP. All right, so for this one, you can do this a couple of different ways, but we're going for L and P. We're going around following L and P. So we've got 180 plus the 45, right? You can think about it that way. I thought that was the easiest way to think about it. 180 plus the 45, which is 225 degrees. Okay, your homework, you should have seen that on this assignment, I left you a worksheet. It is section 10.2 and it says find arc measures on it. So make sure you do that. There's 2 pages. And then I also assigned you some springboard work from your book. And when we come together in our next slide class, we're going to grade all of this together. So it'll be due for our next slide class, and then you will download it after class after it's been graded again. All right. Take care, guys. God bless. Bye bye.